I'm Jen Lusquezek, Program Coordinator for the Vermont Communication Support Project. In a previous video, we introduced you to our services and explained that here at the project, we assist individuals with disabilities that impact their ability to communicate by assigning a communication support specialist to provide support in court, administrative proceedings, and/or meetings that may include attorneys, state personnel, or providers. We discussed barriers and challenges disability can have on effective communication. If you haven't seen that video, be sure to check it out by clicking the link in the comment section of this video. So how does a communication support specialist address some of those challenges? It starts with an understanding about our role. A communication support specialist is not an advocate. We are neutral, and that neutrality is extremely important. Because we are not concerned with the story of what is being said, like who is in the right or in the wrong, for example, in a case, but rather how the words are being delivered and received, we are able to assure our clients that they will have the space to communicate what they need to the best of their ability. That is why there always has to be a meeting with at least one other person to have a CSS assigned, not unlike a translator or an ASL interpreter, with some differences, of course. So what does this look like practically? CSS services are divided into a 30-minute pre-meeting, the meeting or the hearing, and a 30-minute post-meeting. During the pre-meeting, we do the following. The CSS will check on the client's understanding about what the meeting or hearing is about and who will be participating. They will help the client identify any questions they may have and who the best person would be to answer those questions. For remote hearings or meetings, we ask the client whether their electronic device is charged and if they have a quiet and comfortable place to sit. We make sure that they have the link and are confident about their ability to join the meeting or the hearing. During the pre-meeting, a CSS will explore with the client how their disability affects their ability to communicate and come up with some tools and strategies that they can try to address some of those challenges. So what are some of those tools? The tools depend, of course, on how that person's disability impacts communication and the accommodation that is needed. For example, the CSS could help a client build an agenda and help keep track during the meeting to make sure they had addressed everything that they had identified as important. The CSS could role play asking questions or politely speaking up during a meeting or hearing if that was a concern. The CSS could discuss de-escalation techniques like deep breathing, taking breaks, and using a client's name to refocus attention. If remote, the CSS will open a text line so they are able to communicate during the meeting. In person, we explore physical supports like cue cards, stress balls, and note-taking. Every assignment is different, and accommodations are different for each individual. With a good communication plan in the pre-meeting, it is not uncommon for a CSS to have a lesser role during the meeting or hearing. During the meeting or hearing, the CSS's job is to remain vigilant to any communication barriers that may arise and ask for any accommodations as needed. The CSS is also taking notes so they are able to review the meeting or the hearing during the post-meeting, which brings us to the post-meeting. During this meeting, the CSS will check with clients' understanding of what took place with open-ended questions. Maybe employ de-escalation techniques if needed, such as encouraging physical movement, deep breathing, or taking some time to regroup. Reinforce answers to any questions the client may have posed during the hearing or meeting and making sure that they heard the answer. Then there's the follow-up, supporting access to paperwork, helping the client identify next steps, helping the client organize follow-up questions with the people best suited to answer them. I often describe our services as having an anchoring effect, providing reassurance that a person's disability will not keep them from fully being able to participate in the meeting or the hearing. And that reassurance can make a big difference in how a person participates. If you, someone you know, or someone you are working with has a disability that affects communication and could use a communication support specialist, please reach out either by phone or by email. Thank you so much for your time. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Have a great day.